Hello everyone. So in this video, I am going to explain data type in PySpark. Okay, so data type itself is a class or can say base class in a PySpark for all types like string type, sort type, integer type. We have a different types of data type. For all kind of data type, we have a base class called data type. Okay, some types like integer type, decimal type, byte type are a subclass of numeric type, and numeric type is a subclass of data type. So can say data type is a base class or parent class. Okay, and it has multiple subclasses. So these are the subclasses we can see, and data type class contain some method like JSON value, simple string, type name, from JSON, neat conversion to internal, from internal. So we can use these functions based on our requirement or in a different scenarios. Okay, so just example, JSON value, return JSON representation of data type. When we have to see JSON representation of data type, then we can use this method like that. And one of the important type is called struct type. So what is the use of a struct type? Struct type define the nested structure or schema of data frame. So simply I can say struct type we do use to define the schema of data frame. Okay, now how, let's see in the PySpark. Okay, let me close other tabs. Okay, now here we can see to use a struct type, first we need to import a struct type. Okay, and with the struct type I imported some other type like struct field, string type, integer type, array type. Okay, so based on the definition, it defined the nested structure or schema of data frame. Okay, so this struct type is used to define the schema of any of the data frame. Okay, so just assume I am defining one schema. So when we are defining a schema, we have to start with struct type. Okay, so I started with struct type. Now just assume we have a multiple columns. Some column is integer type, some column is string type, some column is array type, or we have a nested columns. Okay, so let me take the example. I have the best example here with the data. Let me come here first. Okay, so like we can see this is data. In this data, this is nested type. Here we have a first name, middle name, last name, first name, middle name, last name. So this is a nested type. Hey, okay, so in one name we have a three name. This is array type, like in one column we have a multiple values, and this is normal types like string types. Okay, so to define a structure for this data, we are going to use struct type. Okay, so started with struct type. Then in the struct type means simply can understand a structure type. So we are defining the structure of data frame. Okay, so we started with struct type. Inside that we have a field. Okay, so all these things comes under name. Okay, so this is the comes under name. So inside name we have a multiple name, first name, middle name, last name. Okay, so first it comes under name, or can say main column. Okay, so then we started with inside the struct type we started with struct field given name. Okay, so now inside the name we have again three types, or can say three value. So that is again nested. So based on the definition, it is used to define nested structure or schema of data frame. Okay, so uh, first we had to define schema. So we started with struct type. Now inside the schema, again we need to define nested type. Okay. So these three are nested types. So to define these three, again we are going to use struct type. Okay. So the use of struct type is to define a structure of data frame as well as define nested type. Now again inside the struct field name and then struct type, again in this struct type we have a three things. First name, so first name is the field, so we started with struct field name first name, type is string type. Okay, then again it has a second name, can say middle name, so this is another field called struct field middle name and type is string. Again we have the third one called last name, so this is another field inside the name. Okay, so again struct field last name string type, and here this struct type this inner struct type is getting close, and this struct type we used to define our nested data. Okay, so first struct type we are using just to define the structure of data frame. Okay, so inside the structure the first field is name. To define a name we use struct field, and in the struct field we given the name. Okay, so main is name, and name has a three part: first name, middle name, middle name, last name. So again we have a three nested field. So for the nesting purpose again we use struct type, and inside the struct type we defined a three field: first name, middle name, last name. So this first struct type got completed, this name part. Now we have a second struct type, second field called programming language. So again this is one field, so we are giving a struct field and language. So we can see it has multiple values, so we are calling it array type. Inside array type we have a string type. Okay, this is array type value. Okay, second struct field the name we are column name we are giving language. So this is the second field, or can say second column. So we here while defining we are giving it name language. Okay, and its type we can see it's array type. Okay, because it has multiple values, so inside the array these are string type, so we given string type. Now next is the state. So this is another field. So again we are defining a new field called struct field, and name we are giving state and its type is string. Again we have a gender, so this is one more field. So again we are defining one more field and giving name gender, and then type is string type. Okay, so basically when we have to define the structure we will start with struct type. So inside the structure we have a multiple columns. So just to mention the column, just to define a columns, we should use a struct field. Okay, so now just assume if in one field if we have again multiple field called a nested type, so in that case inside the field we have to use struct type, and then again in the struct type we have to define all the nested field. Okay, so this struct type started here and got close here, and okay, now we are creating a data frame. Okay, let's run this entire code. It is running. Run the notebook to start a new session. Hold on, session got failed, expire. Let's that another session is ready. So let me I copied all the code. I just want to execute here because I am seeing the session is ready. So now we can see the data name. Inside the name we have a nested value, and then in the language we have array types. Okay, So this is all about data type in PySpark data frame. Thank you.